What's going on, YouTube? Back once again in the shed. Yes, finally. I know on my last video I said I'll do a new video and tomorrow or the next day, but I still had a cold, and for the last week I just have not been able to breathe out my nose, not even a little bit. It was completely bunged. Normally I get around it by sort of pinching my nose and blowing into my nose and creating pressure, and that it sort of opens up the back of my airways. And it closed up quite quickly, but it gives me enough time just to bang a bit of menthol or something up there just to open my, but I couldn't even do that. I was blowing, I was just popping my ears out. Ended up giving myself earache and that. One of my worst pains, that is. Hate earaches. But yeah, so I'm here, I'm back, and I've got a lot to try and pack into this video, so it might overrun a little bit, but hopefully it'll be worth your time. So let's crack into it before I start wasting too much of your time. First thing, I'd like to do a kind of, this is a pipe YTPC type thing, but I want to do a kind of VR video response to Uncle Squinty, because watching his last video, thank you for the shout out, by the way. Also, thank you for Simon from Simply Snuff, because he gave me a shout out. Glad that I'm still on everybody's thoughts, even though I'm doing subtle. But anyway, Uncle Squinty was doing his thing, you know, chatting, and he sort of put an idea out there. He's talking about we should try and have some sort of snuff summit or a snuff con, or, you know what I mean, like you get the vape cons and the computers and comic books and, you know, whatever it is, they have some sort of convention, don't they? But, you know, there's always the worry of where to have it. And I think, you know, first thoughts, everybody thinks, oh, England, really, because that's where the big snuff makers are. But if I'm honest, I mean, don't get me wrong, England's perfect for me, obviously, but in all honesty, I think if you spoke to someone like Roderick or whoever, I bet they export more snuffs to America than they do within the UK. You know, I think my feeling is that more Americans, like you'd get a bigger show in America than you probably would in the UK. That's my gut feeling. But anyway, that aside, my idea I'd like to chuck up there is everybody's got this slight worry that, you know, are there really enough snuffers that will attend out there in the world, you know? So why not do a virtual convention, if you know what I mean? Like a lot of like Microsoft and a lot of companies had to do through the pandemic because they couldn't bring people in, but do something on a smaller scale, but something like that for snuff. You know, I wrote down a few notes just so I don't forget, but like, you know, you could sort of stream it, you know, on YouTube or whatever, so people can just pop in and watch and comment in the chat and whatever. Then you could have a few panels with reviewers, try and get, you know, there's obviously new reviewers, but try and get some of the old faces maybe to come back and say hello and say, you know, where they've been and what have you. And also, you could pull faces off of like Facebook and Reddit. I mean, like Uncle Phil did that video with Oliver from Facebook, and that was brilliant. You know what I mean? You could do that kind of thing because plenty of people, you know, have got something to give. I think it would be interesting. And you never know, you know, you might be able to get someone from the companies to show, you know, clock in and say a bit, and you might even be able to get some sponsorships out of them to help try and run the thing. I don't know, maybe. I'm not an expert on how these sorts of things work, but this is really pie in the sky for me. But yeah, and then maybe you could have like an open mic. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe if you're short, like say you haven't got enough people to come in, you could have like, you know, like a 3 or 3 hour slot or whatever, which is like an open mic where anyone can apply to have 15 minutes to talk about something that's related to snuff. And it might be someone that's got a brilliant idea that they want to front, or, you know, or someone wants to talk 15 minutes about a certain bit of history that they can share. You know, I don't know, but I just put that out there. I don't think, you know, it'd be cheaper than running a proper in person. Probably easier to get people to participate if all they've got to do is log in, you know, in front of a camera. You don't have to worry about weather. That's another one. And yeah, I don't know. That was just my little 2-bit idea to it. So I put it out there. I'm not an expert. And I would need a lot of help, because I couldn't do it. I don't think. Anyway, so that being said, that was my little response to Uncle Squinty. Right, next thing, the snuff that I'm doing today. The snuff was given to me by Gareth Hogarth. They sent it to me, and I had a little chat with Rachel Gareth, I think it was, who's running their social media side of it, and she sent me this snuff that I'm reviewing today, and she kind of said to me that they're thinking of stocking this, and I'm not sure how that works because I'm not aware that they've got a shop, but I imagine it means that it's on their stock for, you know, shop owners and that to order from, you know. But she did say she wanted us to review it, to gauge it. She's going to try and gauge response, whether we like it and what people think about it. So I would urge people, yeah, their eyes are going to go across the comments of this video. So if you've got something to say about it, whether you hate it, whether you want it, do you think there's something better they should do, this is your point to say something that might spark an idea. Because I got a feeling there's rumblings. I mean, I don't know. This is personally me. This is purely me speculating now. But, you know, like, there's rumblings. Someone's looking to see if, you know, maybe they're thinking about doing something there, but is it worth it? So this is your chance to show up and say, you know, come on, put your hand up. We're here. If you build it, they will come. That's what we need to get across to them, you know. So I don't know. This may be me just being fanciful and being too hopeful. It may just be she looks to see if we like the snuff or not. But, you know, I'm an optimist and I'm hopeful that, you know, maybe they're thinking, or we can get across to them that, you know, it's worth their while. It's an amazing bit of history that's worth keeping and going. And no, I don't think very few companies have got as much history in the snuff making as, you know, Gareth Hogarth and Samuel Gareth. You know, they spew history, you know what I mean, from their soul. And a lot of the terms, Kendall, brown snuffs and all that all come from because of where their companies were situated. So yeah, I don't know, I may be you know, this may be me being a little bit too hopeful, but I was just putting it out there to say maybe it's worth dropping a comment, and maybe they'll read it, and maybe they might realise that, you know, there's a few of us out here, man, and we're hungry for new stuffs, you know. And if you do something interesting, like I say, if you build it, they will come. So yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to say on that. So this is where the normal sort of video starts. So today we are reviewing JBR Green by Pershall. Yes, and JBR, if you don't know, stands for J Brumfick and Radfords, and they used to be a tobacconist in London, I think in the mid 1600s. And I believe, you know, like, they've obviously shut down. Pershall bought the rights to the snuff, and you've got the Radford snuffs, but then you've also got the Radford line of tobaccos made by Goworth and Hogarth. I think there's 4 of them in the line. Like, one of my favourites is their Sunday Fantasy. And I got in the pipe now Radford's Luxury. Is it Radford's Luxury or Luxury Radford's? Radford's Luxury. You know, so there's history there. But anyway, I believe this is a new line made under the name. I don't think these were made by the original. It's just like a new line of snuffs under that company name. But that's where the JBR comes from, you know. But again, there's a history story there. It's linked there somehow. I could be wrong. They could be old recipes. Don't hold me to that one. I don't know. I've never been told yay or nay on that. But yeah, it's wintergreen snuff. So, and I'm having a bit of a love affair with wintergreen at the moment. So this one's going to be a good one. So, Sen, let's get into it. JBR Green. Let's crack her open and see what she's saying, shall we? Okay, so it's a medium fine grind. Probably medium moisture, but the moisture is that sort of lightly oiled moisture, you know, that a lot of Pershall and Germanic snuffs have. It's consistent, and you can see kind of little flecks where there's different leaves in it, but it's very consistent. It's smooth, it's well ground. Yeah, it's it looks good. It looks good, and it looks like it's been well prepared. So let's get into the old tin note. Out of 10, all I'm really getting is a little bit of mintiness and a little touch of wintergreen. But even what I can smell is not a lot of it. But that might be partly because I'm sniffing it out a little hole on a snuff box. So let's jump into a pinch. Oh, I got one of the new knives. Nice, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just a bit better built. I don't know. I love it. So let's bash some out. It definitely looks darker in front of me in the eye than it does when I recorded it. You know, like sometimes the colour doesn't come through right. It looked a little lighter on the camera, but yeah. So let's bump in. I would say that this one is really easy to take, even though it's a kind of medium fine. But like I say, it's got that sort of lightly oiled Germanic thing going on, which means it doesn't fly and hit the back of your throat. It's quite easy to take. Okay, so first off the bump. You get, first of all, mainly sort of like a spearminty, cool, sort of fresh mintiness, but there is wintergreen in it. But on the first takeoff from the starting line, I would say that the spearmint is just a hair in front, but then it sort of dials back, and you do get this wintergreen coming through, and it is a really nice wintergreen. It's not overpowering. The menthol isn't super strong. It's easy to take. in my mind, I wouldn't even class it as menthol. I would think of this as minty. You know, as it dies down, that wintergreen comes through. And the thing is, the wintergreen is it's a nice wintergreen. It's hang on, let me get my words together. Okay, the wintergreen, it is, I'll tell you what it is not. It is not the wintergreen that's sort of sharp, harsh, and medicated. It's not that type of wintergreen. The wintergreen is very sort of soft, smooth, and sweet. You know? A little bit more sort of floral wintergreen rather than, you know, like medicated wintergreen. And as I say, there's like a spearmint, I think it is, and it's nice and cooling and refreshing, and it opens up your nose, but it does not overpower the, you know, to begin with, it's a little bit heavy on the throttle, but it dials back, and it doesn't overpower. Like the smell of wintergreen and spearmint coalesce into a nice pleasant scent. As for base tobacco scents, I don't really pick too much of it up. I think the wintergreen and spearmint do overpower that. I think when I sit there and I'm really trying and hunting, I can pick up a little bit of a sort of, you know, a sort of bready biscuit tobacco scent, but I have to hunt for it. I mean, like, I have to really sit there, and you know, I'm not even sure if I really picked that up. It's like one of them, like, am I imagining I'm picking that up because I'm looking so hard for it, or did I pick it up? You know, so, you know, it may have been in my head for all I know, but I thought I picked a little bit up, and I had to work hard to get it. Nicotine, medium. I'm gonna say it's bang in the middle, man. It's like, it's not too low that you're not gonna notice it, but then it's not so high that it's gonna blow your ears off. You know, you take enough of it, you're happily, you know, content with what it brings to the table. But yeah, I think it's damn good. I don't think there's a lot else I can say about it. So yeah, I am going to give it a seal of approval, grade A, because I think it's banging. I've really enjoyed it, and like I say, I'm having a little bit of a love affair with wintergreen at the moment. So yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, I think this is a banging snuff. I would use it. I will kill the tin, and I will buy more. The only thing I would say though, having a little look, and I mean, I know the prices of everything are going up. It did look a little pricey for me for what you get as a 10 gram pot. So there's that, but it's a damn good snuff. And I believe that's all I've got for you. So there you have it. Thanks for joining me. I am going to get bang on it now and start knocking out these videos on a nice regular. Get some content out there. Thank you to all the new subs. I'm really happy and really glad you're here to join us. Here with my snuffeteers. Snuff for one and snuff for all, I guess. I don't know where that comes from. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. So remember to tap, pinch and toot, because that's 3 ingredients to your enjoyment, and your enjoyment is all I've got for you. So remember to come back to the shed, and until then, I shall bid you farewell.